Hello, you beautiful beings. Thank you so much for being here as I allow more energy to flow through. I feel like the message today that's coming through is really related to how to work with fast moving energy. As you've probably read, for those of you who are staying up to date and staying current with the Patreon posts, I've been doing a lot of writing, like constantly, I should say. Like I've been allowing the light to write through me, basically day after day, like all the way through. And it's felt immensely healing. And I don't know what type of state I would be in without it, quite honestly. But what I've recognized as I've really allowed this energy to start moving through me, there's this flow that begins to happen, and we start feeling like we're moving really fast. And you'll notice the faster you're moving, the more present your reality becomes, the more that time just disappears. And there's 111, right as I said that. And that's really what's been happening. Like, I talked to my companion today, and I was like, wait, what day is it? And she was like, it's Sunday. I'm like, it's Sunday. I was like, oh, that's Craig Holiday's satsang. I can't forget. Because literally everything is just kind of like a blur, it's just, and so it's so much fun to be moving fast, to be in that creative flow, to be giving your gifts to life so fully. It's really, I think, what we incarnate here, like part of why we incarnate here is to experience this flow, and this power and this light that surges through you when you are connected, in the way I feel I am right now. But part of when we're moving fast, part of the reason that I've noticed in the past that I'll just like crash and burn is because when we start moving fast, a lot of really fearful parts come up. A lot of parts that are paranoid of like the deep, like when we have so much light moving through us, it makes sense that it's going to start shining its spotlight on a lot of the darker places. A lot of the inner critic voices come up, the unworthiness, all of these parts of us really, the faster we're going, the more intensely these parts can be felt at times. And the more like they come up in the thought space and the more believable they tend to be. And what I've noticed is in the past, when I've been moving as fast as I am now, when I've really been in the flow state, I used to try to just kind of discard them and not really listen to them, and I think that's a teaching. A lot of really powerful teachers point to this and to just keep moving, right? But for me and my own consciousness and how it's oriented, every time I've done that, those voices, they just get louder and louder and louder, and eventually they just consume me, and I start believing the inner critic, and before you know it, I'm sunken, I'm submerged, I'm drowning in my trauma, and the flow state has dissolved, and I feel disconnected again, and I'm just kind of lost, in the abyss and drowning in my own darkness and trauma. And so it'll take me some time to reorient and find my path again, find the flow again, and that time can be really valuable because we learn a lot of lessons. But what I've been doing this time to see if to really allow this flow state and this energy to keep moving just as fast is every time those fearful thoughts come up or those paranoid thoughts, I'll really turn towards them and I'll say, hey, it's okay. I'm not gonna leave you behind. I'm gonna stay right with you. You're coming with. We're safe. I love you. And I noticed in the past when I'd be in a state like this, I'd be putting all this pressure on myself to stay in the state. And that is where a lot of the fear was birthed from, is like, you're gonna mess this up, you're gonna sabotage, something bad's gonna happen to you, that's gonna pull you out of the flow state. And I would try to just ignore those voices. And this time when they're coming up, I'm recognizing it's just a part of me that wants to come with. It's a part of me that's saying, hey, don't leave me behind. You've left me behind in the past. You've tried to, go way out in front of me in the past. And I felt abandoned and betrayed. I felt scared. I felt alone. And there's this real feeling in my body, like, I'm not gonna do that this time. Like, I'm here for you. You know, I love you. And I'm not abandoning you. And so I've been really just carrying this fearful one with me as I'm in the flow state. Every time his fearful voices come up, I turn towards him and love him and hold him. And in this way, I'm not putting so much pressure on myself to stay in the flow state. I'm allowing myself to go as slow as this fearful one needs me to go. And that's something new, you know. I don't feel compelled to ignore him anymore or to try to just, you know, discard him. I feel really inspired and guided to embrace him with tenderness and to allow him to be a part of this process. And what I notice when I do this is that fear energy, it alchemizes into even more creative energy, because more of me becomes integrated. I become less fragmented. And in the past, when I'd be in the flow state, I'd get out ahead of these parts and I wouldn't wait for them and I'd abandon them. And I'd become so fragmented in doing that that I couldn't maintain the flow. I couldn't embody as much light that was trying to flow through me. And this time it's like I'm feeling more whole and I'm feeling more integrated and less fragmented. So it's like I'm able to hold this charge in a little bit more of a grounded way. And I'm not putting so much pressure on myself, and it's been really beautiful to experience, actually. And it's like I'm letting the fearful one actually help out. It's like, you get to create too, you're here too. And so that part gets to come home, and then the next part that comes up, he gets to come home, and it's just like all these parts of me coming home through each piece that I write and share with you, and through each video that I allow the light to speak through me. And so, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. If you're in the creative flow and maybe you have some sabotaging tendencies, or you tend to find that you shipwreck a lot when you are in the flow, maybe this video and the energy that I'm transmitting through it can really help you guys, you know, have some more guidance the next time you connect to that fast-moving energy. And that way you can hopefully stay in the flow even longer and keep giving your gifts even more fully, and just be able to sustain yourself while you're in the flow, right? So otherwise, I just feel the Divine Mother holding us all in so much love. And she's just wanting to say that through me right now, that you're all being held, no matter where you're at in your process. You're all so fully invited to love all aspects of yourself, unconditionally and just fully. And just like this gentle reminder to keep bringing loving kindness to yourself. We are in such transformative and powerful times, and nothing I feel will help you more right now than to really, really give yourself permission to flood your being with loving kindness. Other than that, I am going to sign off for the day. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I feel like I want to post this one on YouTube as a little Patreon video preview for those of you who aren't subscribed yet, just to kind of give you an idea of what's going on the Patreon channel right now, where there's lots of writings that I've really poured my heart and soul into, really bared everything for you guys to see in an effort that hopefully you can learn from me, you know. So I've just been being so honest and open about what I go through, what I'm experiencing here in Tulum. And so I'll put a link for that in the comments and also in the description box if you are interested and you feel guided to join in the Patreon community. You'll be able to do that. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this little preview video. Yeah, so honored and blessed to be here serving the lights and hopefully providing you guys some value on your own journeys. So much love. Namaste.